1 month. Can you believe that? We were in Israel for 1 month, a whole month tour in Israel. It was incredible. We visited 3 cities. Oh, 4 cities, 3 or 4. We was based in Tel Aviv, went to Jaffa, Haifa, and Jerusalem. 4 cities, 4 major cities we visited while we was in Israel for a month. We were at man, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember the name of the hotel in Tel Aviv. It's been so long. I mean, 88. This is fucking 2023. Ain't no way I'm gonna remember that. I don't know even if it's still there, but it was right on the beach, so I could actually look out my window every morning and seeing people, or every day seeing people actually on the beach. So if anybody knows which hotel I'm talking about, that was right on the beach in Israel, put it in the comment because I forgot all about. It's been so long. We started the tour in Tel Aviv. The tour started out messed up from jump. Our luggage was booked on another flight that went totally somewhere else with all our tuxedos and our other clothes. Only clothes we had were clothes we were wearing. And we had a show. I always say we had a show. We got there that night. We got there, I don't know the date, but we got there in the evening and we had a show the next day. Our luggage didn't come, so this is what they did. They got all our measurements. It was funny. And they actually got us some of the workers' uniforms, the hotel uniform, or the place established uniform where we was performing at for that first show. And we performed in those outfits. That shit was crazy. I just remember that. I never told this story before because I totally forgot all about it. But I'm remembering stuff now, and I remember the first night we got in Israel. In that first performance. And I guess by the time, if I'm not mistaken, by the time we got to our second performance, our luggage had arrived with our actual tuxedos that we used for the show. So it finally got there for the second show. But that first show was crazy. That first show I felt like the bellhop. It looked like those bellhop outfits. I'm serious. And we all had those. Tony had to wear it too. We all had. That's all we had. Wait a minute. No, Tony might have had a suit. But the Platters, we had those outfits on. And Helen had a dress. But we had those outfits on, the rest of us. Even the band members, because all of our tuxedos were delayed, which was crazy. And this particular tour, I have to admit, Tony did a pretty good job. Well, let me take that back. He did a pretty good job after the first week. The first week was, I remember talking to the promoter or agent, one of them, and they weren't too happy with the performances up to that point. And they was considering canceling the rest of the tour. But they decided, well, what the hell? I mean, these people, but oh, sorry about that. They wanted to see Tony. That is Tony Williams. That is the man that everybody wants to see. So they actually said, okay, we're gonna finish the tour, but we hope it gets better. The show gets better, which it did. But our first show was in Tel Aviv. Like I said, it was at the Cinema. Well, no, the first show was at a hotel, the Omni or something. I can't remember. And the second show was at the Cinerama. And we did a TV show in Tel Aviv, one of those variety TV shows. I think it was called the Pierre show. If anybody from Israel or it lived in Tel Aviv in the 80s, they can correct me because that was a popular show at that time. And it was a daytime show. It was like a talk show. And we went on there to do some coffee to promote the tour and to let people know. And we did that in Tel Aviv. And then we did the Cinerama. I think it was like a bit. It was like a what was it? Cinerama. It was like a arena that was like in a round. We did that, and then we went to Jerusalem. A lot of the stuff is vague, so I can't remember all the specifics. Like I can't remember where we played at in Jerusalem. I remember the city, and we were there for 2 days, and we did I think 4 shows, and then we came back to Tel Aviv, and then near Tel Aviv is Jaffa, and Haifa, 2 small cities. And we played at those. We played an afternoon show in Haifa and Jaffa, and Haifa or Jaffa, I can't remember which one. And the thing I remember the most about that afternoon show, it was like a brunch show, and they had the tables that was part of the freaking stage. It was like a walkway to the stage. Well, no, the tables was like right on top of the walkway. There's a walkway that goes right down the middle of the stage that goes out into the audience. So whoever singing lead can walk down there. And then they had tables lined up. This is embarrassing, but I'm gonna tell it anyway. And like the people were eating at these tables. So we're the only act. Like I don't know if I said before. I did say it before in one of my other lives. But when we go on tour and we're the only act, there's no other act on the show but us. Then we'll do like an hour, 15 hour, 20 minutes. But when we're with other acts, we'll just do the hits. So we'll do like 25 to 30 minutes. Well, this is one of those shows where we're the only act, so we had to do an extended show. So when we do extended shows, each of the members in the group gets to sing solo. So by this time, they had gave me a featured spot in the show where I'm singing 2 songs. And the first song is a song that was made popular by the Platters in the 60s after Tony left. It wasn't a number 1, but it was I think a top 10 hit. Was called "Washed Ashore," and was sung by Sonny Turner, who actually took Tony Williams' place after Tony left the Platters. So I sung that song, "Washed Ashore," and I also sung "Shout" by the Isley Brothers, which was like the encore song that we left at the end of the show to like the big encore. After we would sing, say "My Prayer." We would do "Shout" and then "My Prayer" and leave the stage. That's how we end the show. So getting back to "Wash the Shore." So "Wash the Shore" is like in the middle of the set. So how old was I? I had to be like 28, 27, 28, 29, somewhere around there. So I got all this energy, and I'm a big Michael Jackson fan. So I had incorporated in my routine to do that spin that Michael does, and I had got it down to do a three spin pirouette, and I had it really good, and I thought I was going to be like kind of cool and show up in front and these people. Now, my problem was that walkway was kind of narrow, so it wasn't really wide enough. So I didn't have the confidence I should have had because it was narrow. Because I knew if I stumbled, that's it. I'm gonna fall off the right on somebody's table, which is actually what happened. So I did the spin, and for some reason I didn't feel comfortable coming out of the spin. And when I came out of the spin, I stumbled. And as soon as I stumbled, I fell right over, right on the freaking table where people was eating at. Oh man, that was so embarrassing, man. Oh Jesus Christ, right on the freaking table. Luckily enough, they had I don't know if they had any food on the table or not. No, they didn't have any food on the table. I think they just had some drinks. Yeah, some drinks and some other knickknacks on the table. They didn't have no real food. So I didn't really make a disaster, but it was embarrassing falling off that stage. They helped me back up. The band didn't stop playing. They kept playing. I got back up and I just started singing again and picked up where I left off at. Uh, so that's the moment I'll never forget in Haifa. I think it's Haifa or Jaffa. I know it was close enough to Tel Aviv that I actually walked back to to the hotel from that venue. So which one, if anybody from Israel know, which one is closer to Tel Aviv, Haifa or Jaffa? One of the two. Because I did walk back. Because I just felt like I felt like walking. For some reason, I can't remember all the details. Also, this was during a time where there was a lot of, I guess it's still to this day, a lot of hostility with the Palestinians and the Israelis. And the Palestinians can come into Israel to work, but they have to leave Israel after 6 p.m. by 6 p.m. And if they're still in Israel after 6 p.m., they can get arrested or fined or something. Well, anyway, the reason I'm telling you the story is because the reception at the front desk, man, this girl was cute, fine as hell. She was Palestinian, right? And I wanted to take her out for some drinks and get to know her, man. I mean, she was fun, you know? And she was giving me some rhythm, like, yeah, I like to hang out with you. But I can't because I got to go back across the border to Palestine before right after work, or I'm going to be in trouble. And I was so mad. And, you know, it made me think from being a black man, it made me thought about segregation, with what we had to go through back in the 60s and before that in this country. So I felt a kind of way about that, man. And another thing that I remember too about that tour was Israel is a very religious country. So they have this thing about um, uh, dairy products and mixing with meat. So for example, they had no fast food joints. They had no McDonald's, no Burger King, no Wendy's, none of that stuff because they didn't accept mixing dairy products. For example, a cheeseburger. No, you can't have no. You can have a cheese sandwich or you can have a hamburger, but you can't have a cheeseburger. You can't mix a dairy product with meat. That was their religion, you know? So now, like I said, I'm a young dude. I'm in my prime. So, you ain't gonna tell me what I can't have. So in the hotel, I ordered a cheese sandwich and a hamburger. I made my own freaking cheeseburger in the hotel. I was just defying stuff. That's all that was. That's all that was. And just having some fun with it. The women, they had some nice women in Israel. And trust me, I was viral. I was viral at that time. So I was anything. Yeah, you read between the lines. So good looking man like myself, and I'm in my mid-20s. Oh man, the attention I was getting. Matter of fact, give you an example. At one of the shows, a Platter fan was so excited to meet me. He wanted me to date his girlfriend. I'm like, dude, that's your girlfriend. What you doing? No, you. I'm like, y'all crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Another time I remember, no, a couple of occasions. We were there for months, so I got a lot of stuff. I'm starting to pop up. Their money is called shekels or something like that. And then when you're walking down the streets and you're walking through the markets, it's like they singing the shekels, bring in the shekels. Who got the shekels? Who got it? And it was funny, right? And back then, the NBA was popular with Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. But it was funny because they would mix up the name. I'm walking out the street, they be calling, they're trying to be cute, right? Or funny. They're trying to be funny. And one of them called me Jordan. Well, they was calling me Michael Johnson. Hey, Michael Johnson, Michael Johnson. Magic Jordan. I said, dude, no. It's Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson. It was crazy. We got a chance to go out and play some basketball with some of the guys. Here's a great story. So we was out there playing basketball at this court. And it was this art school directly across from the basketball court. So while we out playing basketball, this lady from the art school come out and she walked directly to me. And we stopped the game because she wanted to ask me questions. So I'm like, yeah, what can I do for you? She wanted me to come in and model for the class. Huh? And they were doing sketches, right? And I didn't know what kind of mom this was, but I was having fun playing basketball. So I told her, after we finished playing basketball, if I have time, I'll come in. So we finished our game. I said, let me go in this school and see what this woman was talking about. I go in the school, right? It's full of women. A room, a class full of women. They all had their little sketch pads. And the model was standing in front of the class and stand there. And I'm fit because I'm in my 20s. I'm still fit. And I'm 64 years old. So can you imagine what I looked like when I was in my 20s, my six pack and everything? So the woman says, we want you to model, but here's the catch. We want you to model nude. I'm like, no, ain't no way. Woman, first of all, how much money you gonna pay me for this? And this woman got the nerve to tell me, but I don't have a lot of money, but and so whatever figure she came up with, I said, that ain't shit. I'm not. I said, I'll tell you what, because my little ego is in the way. All these good looking women, I'll model for you, but not naked. I'll wear some underwear. And she agreed. And that was the weirdest, funniest experience. Standing in the front of standing in front of a room full of women. It had to be like in that class between 10 and 15 women in there. And you could see them all peeking up, looking at me up and down. That shit was funny. So at the end, I told the lady, you know what, instead of paying me, because she was also a sculptor, I said, make a bust of me. You know what a bust is? That's the sculpture of just your head. And I had some hair then. So I had a part down the middle and I had the hair combed to the side and it was flaring out like this. I wish I had a picture. Oh, man. I had some pictures. That's another story, man. Somebody stole my pictures. I ain't gonna get into it. But it took her about 3 days to make that bust. And I had to sit there. And so what I did was come back. I did that for her. And then I came back later and did that little model and saw how to do it. The bus was like, man, I must have kept that bus for at least 10 years. That shit was heavy too. For at least 10 years, I kept that bus. I was proud of that shit, man. Yeah, and so we had some. It was good fun. Oh, also I remember. So like I said, this is in the mid '80s or late '80s. So that terrorist shit hadn't gotten over here yet. So I wasn't used to walking down the street and seeing seeing a cop standing on a corner with freaking machine guns or M16s or whatever you call them. That was a little unnerving to see all those weapons out there. And it was funny. I'll tell you a funny story. When we was going to do one of those shows, and we was all dressed in our platters in our thing, and we had walked by some of these guys. One of the dudes let me take a picture with the gun. I couldn't believe it. He let me take a picture with the gun. That shit was crazy. I wish I kept those pictures. I don't have anything from that time. And I remember that the shows with Tony from that point on wasn't great, but it was passable. The shows that Tony, because you got to remember now, by this time, Tony only had about 3 more years to live before he passed, or 4, depending on what year it was. If it was 88, he died in 92, so that's 4 years. If it was 89, he died in 92, so it was 3 years. So we were close to the end of Tony's life. So the reason I keep saying about Tony's performances, because the closer we got to the end of his life, the worse his performances got. It got so bad it was like kind of embarrassing being on stage, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest. Tell you the truth. So those last few years of struggle. But at the same time, this is my first experience being on this stage, on this level. I mean, I was lucky and blessed to actually become a member of that group. And by the way, before I forget, I always have to mention this. Please go to my channel and subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. Also, leave a comment. Also, go to my playlist. Check out some of my videos. I got videos of me performing with the Platters. I got videos of me doing my own shows with my own band. And I got my music that I recorded on there also. So you can find all that stuff on my page. Just go check it out.